It all comes down to this between Godsent and Gambit. Both maps have been pretty one-sided, and we move to Overpass. The winner goes to face Renegades in the grand finals. The loser is dead and buried. Or it could be a good one. I'm hoping it's a good one.
Well, no, there is no getting around that. The loser is dead and buried.
Yeah.
The loser will get mobbed by the crowd, torn to shreds, and then stuffed into a boat that is lit on fire. Because we're in Sweden.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
DreamHack winner. Welcome, everybody. Sorry about that short break, but we're back, and we're going into the third map, Overpass between Gambit and Godsent. There are a lot of opportunities on this map. There's a lot of good fun. It's always an entertaining map to watch.
Yeah.
So many possibilities here for Godsent, who are going to be starting on the CT side as well. They won the knife. So they get to start on the CT side. And, well, I just want to, I'm always going to have this where I just want to see Vintage JW, please. Aggro up. Go into mid, go for long, just take the fight everywhere, JW. Make this map yours. Get your team into that grand finals in front of this amazing home crowd. Do it. Get the job done.
It's the kind of map where JW could take over as well. You know, if you're looking at the Mag 7, the aggressive AWP positions, why Overpass is personally my favorite map to cast. There's so many different angles and variables. Everybody has a chance at making something work. Between these two teams, though, Overpass honestly isn't a map that really fills me with confidence for either of them. Godsent have slightly better results. They've beat the likes of Virtus Pro. They've beat G2 as well. Gambit have, if you just look at their base stats, 4-1, 4 wins, 1 loss. But when you look at who they've actually played, they've played significantly weaker teams. You're looking at like Fnatic Academy, Godsent Academy, Tengri. These aren't on the same levels as the Virtus Pro. So I think Godsent will be favorites coming into this map, but again, all bets are off.
I think so as well, because you have to keep in mind, LAN. LAN does change things somewhat. But then again, as well, Godsent should have a little bit of an edge there. They've got to, well, both of these teams have been around for quite some time as far as like the individual players are concerned, barring Hobbit, right? But you have Zeus, Doja, Adrian. These guys have been playing LANs and dominating on LANs for years. Going up against Godsent, though, you got the man himself, Flusha, and he's playing aggro restrooms as well. Did he actually get the idea that they are pushing long? It seems like it, and there's nobody on that A site to stop them. He has to hustle back here and try and get in line before Gambit can just run up onto the site, and he realizes he's too late.
Well, if he can just do enough damage and stay alive for the rest of his team to get back in, this retake is still very much a possibility. They are going to concede the bomb plant, but it's what happens afterwards that really counts. Lekro is going to just get overran by terrorists up in his face. But those terrorists that killed him are the last two that remain for Gambit, and that's going to be Adrian and Mo, both of which are in pretty precarious positions, and with 4 CTs breathing down their necks, they're going to have to come out big here. The bomb is being defused in amongst all the chaos from Pronax, and we'll be getting defused right here, right now, as Godsent claimed the first round.
Excellent retake, and the decision-making from Flusha, so on point, realizing that he didn't have time to make it back up onto the bomb site. Instead of just running into his death and being able to say, like, well, I tried. No, he stayed alive in mid. He just put a halt on things, basically, for Gambit. He allowed them to get onto the site, sure. But him staying alive made all the difference because that just boxed Gambit in. Gambit had no room to maneuver with there. So very solid work coming in here from Godsent to start things off on this third and final map of this second semifinal of the day here at DreamHack Winter. 1-0 lead for Godsent, and now they have the guns. Because of the bomb plant, however, Gambit are going to be taking it a little bit easy in this round.
It just goes to show again, Sam, that kills don't necessarily make you the MVP of the round. Flusha didn't really get too much in terms of damage, but what he offered was just so much
information.
Exactly.
And basically the key point of stopping Gambit from rotating into restrooms and trying to actually catch the rotation up from Godsent. They were never able to challenge the men coming in from Connector. They weren't able to get anything going there for themselves. So, I mean, that's just on-the-fly thinking. That's what makes Flusha such a strong player. He's an anchor player for this team. And I don't mean that he just, holds them down. No, he keeps them steady.
Sure does. And with Mo going down first, Gambit, well, they're struggling to pick up any speed. JW just with a P250. Not too interested in investing a great deal. Obviously, that AWP is on the horizon as far as he's concerned. The Incendiary is going to force back the sandbag aggression, and this funnels the rest of Gambit through into Monster. This could be a total collapse as Lekro's going to go in with a smash. 2 kills, not a third, but did so much damage, he may as well be dead. Doji is going to die. Eventually, Godsent pick up a 2-0, only losing Lekro.
Lekro makes the money back on that ump, and Pronax saves his FAMAS as well. So very solid. Godsent so far, I mean, they're doing good work, and they don't really have to worry too much. I'm curious to see if JW actually had the money for that AWP, or if it's just going to be the rifle. I think it is just going to be the rifle. Prioritizing grenades. They have 2 kits as well here for Godsent, whereas it is going to be that early buy coming in from Gambit due to the bomb plant, but because of no bomb plant in the last round as well, they are very light on grenades. They're going to be looking for headshots here, Gambit. They need to catch somebody out on Godsent.
It's pretty interesting there, actually, because JW had $4,500. He was just shy of being able to afford the AWP. And as he purchased an incendiary, that could have been the difference. But, of course, the M4 is still no slouch in terms of damage. Very centralized defense for the time being by Godsent. Aggressive interconnector in the short side of A. This is giving up long control, though, so that at some point they're going to have to back away and be very weary of that fact, as we saw in the pistol round for Flusher.
I think they're just waiting for first contact, and there it is. All right, now you start falling back. Rotation has come out as well already. As Lekro moves his way onto that A site, now they have eyes on long. Pronax is going to win the duel versus Zeus, and, well, Adrian hoping to get the lucky headshot. He's not going to find it. That flash, perfectly timed, kind of puts a stop to that. Hobbit, however, is going to catch Flush on restrooms, but that still opens things up here for the connector rotate. The only issue being that Hobbit has changed it up. He's in birthday now. And he can look down into connector, look to actually take that fight with Pronax when it comes.
An adaptive style on the retake as Gambit realizes players in connector, so they're going to take 2 players in party and bathroom, respectively. And now that the kills are starting to go the way of Gambit, this is quickly getting out of control for Godsent. May very well be able to get this if the next kill goes their way, but of course they've got no utility, they don't have a kit, and now they have no chance.
I feel like this is what Gambit wanted to achieve to begin with in the pistol round, right? Because you get up onto the bomb site, sure, you run in through long, but then you're also able to push into restrooms, you catch out Flusha there, and everything went right for Gambit in this round. Nice little explosion there, nice touch. When you got a guy like Lindmark running the show and building the sets, there's going to be fire and flames involved. Haven't seen them since Cluj, so I'm glad to see them back here at DreamHack Winter.
It's a 6th stage, isn't it? I'm loving the flags as well, just hovering overhead.
Well, they're just a little bit more subdued, we'll say. You know, the flames, because at Cluj it was just like fireball. You know, they're actually called like dragon breath, I think it was. You know, so yeah, gives you the right idea, doesn't it?
Max 7 for Schneider. M4. JW, so they did invest a little bit into this with the Max 7. Is it going to yield any results? The answer is yes, but not quite as much as maybe Schneider was hoping for. That second kill was ripe for the taking, but Mo puts him down.
Ah, I like this boost. Clever stuff. If you realize you don't have to worry about connector or sewers just yet. JW just pondering the meaning of life up here, looking around. Hey guys, look, I can see my house from here. Like, he is actually pretty far up there. That is a lot of information gained. But good weapon management here from Mo, chucking the rifle over the side so that nobody from Godsent can come pick it up. And JW is going to have that early warning here. Still no presence in connector, and he's going to spot the heals. This is just going to be sick. There you go. Picks up the 1. Gets all the info, and Zeus has no idea what hit him. That M4 just doing so much work.
I love the patience as well, waiting for the player to come out into the open so we could see the chest rather than just the legs, and just ensuring that he got that first kill. Very well played. Still, though, Gambit do have the advantage in terms of firepower. Max 7 gets picked up on long. Flush is now going to be coming around the back of Gambit, so if they don't get a move on, this could start to get a bit worrying for them. 30 seconds, and now the push is imminent. Molly forces Pronax out into the open. They're going to pick him off easily, but it's all about JW's M4. He's got the Kevlar. We know he's got the talent for it too. 20 seconds, bomb's going to get planted.
Very patient play coming in from Gambit, however, not overextending. Flush at long range with the shotgun. Going to catch him looking the wrong way and eventually claims the kill on Hobbit. But Mo is there to trade the kill, bring it back to a 2-on-2. Unfortunately for JW, who does not look left. And Adrian going to pick up both remaining kills. Solid work coming in from Gambit to keep their cool and not charge forward. It seems like they realized perhaps that JW's playing in water and they didn't want to take that fight, not expose themselves to that M4. Instead, just hunt for the easy kills, take down the guys with the pistols, even though Flusha had the shotgun. Still, we're actually seeing a level here from Gambit that we might not have expected. I mean, you know, going off of the recent results, you're right. Gambit perhaps haven't been playing the best teams on this map, but they've certainly put some work into it. They are looking fairly comfortable.
I'm curious here, did Gambit think that Godsent forced more into that round than they actually did? Because they've gone for 2 MAC-10s. Now, there is a glass cannon AWP, there is a lack of head armor, but the MAC-10s up against assault rifles, that could prove to be quite the issue.
Not everybody can be Shocks and just run around and MAC-10 people to death all day long. Or RPK. I think RPK's got the sickest MAC-10 because he actually taps with it from long range. It's like, okay then. For him, it is a rifle. All right. Unfortunately, we have to stop talking about G2, even though I always love to talk about Shoxy. It's going to be a 2-2 scenario here. Godsent and Gambit tied up, and Godsent, they've got the money for that buy. That AWP on Lekro, you're right, it is Glass Cannon, so he's playing a bit more passively, holding that angle towards long. His teammates in the middle, just putting a little pressure on Gambit, not letting him get that part of the map for free. But it does look like Gambit wants to head back towards that B site here. 50 seconds left, setting up for the grenades. The bomb is ready to go through Monster. And Gambit, they aren't going to find anything in Connector, but that's fine. Means that the rotation is going to be a little bit slower. They kind of have an idea now of how much time it's going to take for Godsent to get into position to deal with this push.
Here come the nades. Here comes the pain as well, and they're going to line up in Monster. This is going to be an absolute wreckage. Zeus is going to come through with a Mac 10. It is going to stick, and is able to transition to an M4, but they've lost a lot of health. And once again, the bomb does get planted in amongst the smoke. But it's hard to see how Gambit hold off this retake, and it's just got a whole lot worse. Zeus, does he have an ace up his sleeve? He could very well get a one and done in effect. There we go. Not even a one and done.
Wait, he forgot to reload.
Oh dear.
He could have got one at least.
Yeah.
And then he ran out of bullets. Come on, Zeus!
But that kind of goes back into the fact they went for 2 Mac 10s. It kind of forced them into a more aggressive position through into that bottleneck of Monster, and it was just all too easy for Godsent with a double spray down to put them out their misery before they even got in the site.
It's also just not, like, the flashes were not effective whatsoever. They really just, that's the worst case scenario is when your flashes, yeah, you're throwing the flashes. If somebody's holding far back, the flashes probably would have caught him. But with the aggressive positioning from Godsent holding very close to Monster, the flashes did nothing. So they can just sit there and spray into the smoke all day long. Gambit are just running into the blender. Still, though, Gambit had enough money. Thanks to that bomb plant, they actually have a very reasonable buy going into this round. Mo has got his AWP. But again, just very passive stuff coming in here from both teams. Schneider and Flusha, they did hang around a little bit at mid, but they didn't attempt to go for the peak. Instead, it's JW with that AWP, looking to see if he can't find somebody over here towards Monster.
This is so crucial. If JW doesn't get picked off by Halbert, if he goes down here, this is going to be a nightmare scenario for Godsent. Both players being fairly passive for the time being. See what JW was peeking out. Oh, JW's going to get tagged and has to just back away. In fact, he goes back in for seconds. It's one of the reasons why he's such a difficult opper to read. Not being too dismayed by coming up worse for wear in that trade.
Tough, but missing 2 of those shots now is going to mess with his head. Opping is all about confidence, and well, it is good to see JW going for those aggressive re-peaks. I do like it. There's a good anti-flash that's going to slow Gambit up. That gives JW some space to work with here. He's going to be able to back off. And with both of those smokes down, Gambit have effectively had the door shut in their face. Doja is here, and well, they're trying to rotate the bomb back through Connector. Are you kidding me? There's 30 seconds left. You're not going to have the time for any of these shenanigans, Gambit.
What is happening here, Gambit? If you slip for even a moment, this round is over. And there we go, Flush has landed the headshot. And this is all Gambit's own doing. The indecision to not go through onto the B side is very likely going to cost them this round, as Flush is going to go in for a second one, and Mo's going to get picked off next.
Yeah, well, basically, what you get is like a present that's been wrapped very nice and neat, and then Zeus really paid attention to the details, tied a beautiful bow on it, and that's what this round is. It's a present. Because that was that was just shaky all over the place for Gambit. Not really sure what was going on, why they refused to commit. But when you have 30 seconds left in the round, that's the risk you run. But when you make your play late in the round like that, if something goes wrong, well, you're screwed. You're doomed. Overpass is a big map. It takes a long time to rotate around with that bomb. So they just had no time. And so Godsent are going to go ahead and just lock them out. Gambit will just be counting on Hobbit with this hero AK to make something happen for themselves here against a fully equipped Godsent.
The great news for Godsent as well in that previous round is they kept all 5 players alive. So now their economy's starting to boom. If they can do the same in this round, they're in a great position, similar to how we were starting to view them towards Train. But still an AK and Kevlar for Hobbit. And the way he's been playing, you wouldn't put it past him to at least take a player or 2 down with him. That's where things could get interesting. Doja has a Deagle, but they have no nades to burst through on that site with. It's going to be asking a great deal, as Doja is going to land a 1-tap, but goes down instantly afterwards. It's down to Flusha. He's going for the spray. Second kill goes his way. He spots a 3rd player, not able to get it. But surely he's done more than enough to secure this round now.
A bit of a tough spot for him. He kind of just has to charge, and a little bit late there with that smoke from the HE, not able to spot the man out. Still, they will recover, but against what was pretty much a hard eco, that is kind of painful for Godsent to give up 2 kills like that. You do want to keep at least 4 alive in a scenario like that, at least in the hard eco sort of scenario. So a bit of a tough break there for Godsent, but still, they keep it cool. They've got their 5th round on the board. Gambit, after that round, will be able to go for the buy. Hobbit, because he survived the last round, wasn't getting any real money, so he's stuck on a Tech 9 Kevlar, but he has a couple of grenades here to facilitate things. And this is where I'm starting to wonder if it wouldn't be better for Gambit to just try and change the pace completely, because they're going for these very slow, default, spread out kinds of rounds, and it's not really working. So it could be the time to just try and throw luck to the wind and rush a spot.
And as a result of how slow they're playing, you've seen Godsent already take control of Connector 3 or 4 times on their CT side. And this really does break the rotation potential.
Oh, Flusha. Oh, what is that? I hate that tick! Stop it!
Switching the weapon, yeah.
You see it happen every now and again, and you're just like, why did you take your knife out? You're just going to bring the M4 out a second later, and that's it. Doja just pounces on Lekro on the A site, and a 2-man advantage now for Gambit.
That's unforgivable, really. I mean, this was Godsent's chance. This was their chance to just steamroll ahead, and now they're asking so much of JW, Pronax, and Schneider up from Connector. They have one player still that's lurking there. But yeah, he's just going to be backing away. I think this is going to be the collective save.
Yep. Hold on to the 3 guns at this point, because there's no hope. No hope of retaking 3v5, that's for sure. Money is still here, actually. If you keep the 3 guns alive, they're going to have a very solid buy going into the next round here, Godsent. So it's not the end of the world, but again, Gambit donated a round to them. Godsent feeling charitable. It is Thanksgiving. They're like, you know what? I feel like we have to do something for you, too. Here, have a round. Snyder takes down Doja, though, so they are at least going to just get that parting kill, and that was the only guy out there hunting for Gambit. So they will survive with all 3 guns, and Godsent, they'll just pass those guns around. More than enough money to go for a full buy here in this round. JW with that AWP as well.
Fun's still looking good on JW's 6.7k, 3.2 for Schneider, 2.7 for Pronax. So even if they do find themselves in another situation here where the round is basically lost, they can save again and rummage together another buy into the next one. But of course, that's on the proviso that Gambit don't just slaughter all of them. This time, they are going to be taking more connector control. I think they've realized that Godsent have been setting up shop here time and time again. I like it from Gambit. They are trying something new. I haven't really seen them play in this form so far. But of course, it's what you do after the connector control that really counts, though.
Yeah, that's where it's kind of scary to go for that boost. Pronax right now, he's going to have to be very careful about controlling connector and not allowing them to get the drop, basically, on JW. And, well, if they're just going to charge out here versus Flusha, that's fine. One for one trade. Schneider is still in position in restrooms as well. He's going to be a little bit too late to the party, however, and Zeus is treated to a 2nd kill. Thank you very much. Man advantage now for Gambit in the round, and Zeus wrecks Pronax. 2-man advantage for Gambit. And, well, they get to do what they want now at this point.
Playing together, dying together, Godsent, and again, if that bomb does go down on B, we could see a save into another buy into the next round. Will Gambit allow it to happen, though? I'm not too sure. Their funds looking actually okay. After this round, they're going to be all up to about 4 to 5k. And yeah, Godsent are just going to save. They've got an AWP. They've got plenty of equipment value. Almost full nades on both these players, too. No reason to throw this away. But Gambit really all off the back of that previous round where Flusha changed his weapons in bathroom and then they just execute onto A. The domino effect is starting to take shape.
This is going to be a very tough situation for Lekro. However, Adrian is close enough to try and go for that trade. And so Lekro has to be careful. He has to hold the angle. In the meantime, JW might get caught by Zeus. Not sure if Zeus spotted him over there, but Adrian finds the shot on Lekro, and that's the difference now. Godsent are going to be hard-pressed to have that buy in the next round. If JW can survive, this would be big, but it's not going to happen. Adrian, both kills for him. And a big deny. That's going to really put Godsent in a bit of a tight spot. They could have kept both of those guns alive. Well, they have enough money on 3, and JW had that 8 grand at the end. So they will get the buy, but it means that Lekro has to skimp and go for the UMP. JW not going to have the funds for grenades. So 5 to 4. Gambit showing that they've still got some fight in them. This is very back and forth so far. But a bit chaotic. And we're going to see if Zeus is going to get, a bit of a tighter rein on things here as JW and Mo. JW actually going for the aggressive peek in mid. Or at least the angle. And Mo is waiting for somebody to get clever over here in connector, but that's just not going to be the case. And so Gambit once again will get connector control. This is really turning into the default for Godsent, really. They've got those 3 players in mid, 2 on B.
Additionally, because of the last round, Godsent have put their life savings into this one. So if Gambit can win, this could even be them taking the lead. They could leapfrog ahead of Godsent after such a rough start to this map. Of course, there's still plenty of CS to be played until we get to that stage, and JW's not going to let it happen for the time being. Pick onto long. I don't think he saw anyone else, so just one player isn't a huge amount of information, but of course it is great in terms of the firepower that Godsent can now bring.
And JW might get the golden chance here to drop the bomb carrier as well. Adrian's waiting right around the corner. He's going to walk right into it. Crouch, peekaboo, misses the shot. JW, that was a gift as well. Not going to get the follow-up either. Gambit have a chance here. They can actually get that back into this fight.
Absolutely mad that he missed both those shots, but still, Schneider's in a solid position. They're too busy and too concerned with the play that was on short that they haven't checked the angle. Now Flusher goes back in. Schneider trying to get the spray down. Less than 30 seconds left. 3-on-2. Godsent are in solid positions though. 20 seconds. There's 2 smokes. They can try and toss one over towards the dumpster, see if they can get themselves onto the site. There's a player behind the truck right now, and one on dumpster. Flush is going to spray down with the M4. It's all but over. Hobbit with 1 kill, coming in for a second. He did actually do a lot of damage with his Tech 9 onto Telacro, down to 23. But Godsent just about hold on.
And well, that's the trend, isn't it? 2-2. I mean, it's basically, they're just trading rounds in pairs at this point. So now it's Godsent's turn to go ahead, break that streak, pick up a round, and now they get the chance to chain it together. Gambit had a good bank, though, and Doja, what is that gun? He hands it over to Hobbit as well. For shame, Doja. He's just going to go for the Deeg instead. But we get an AUG. Or no, it's the Krieg. Great.
Yeah, the SG, the Commando, as it was once known. I've been told by a lot of pro players this is actually a pretty sick weapon in the right hands.
Well, MBK is one of the players who's tried it, I think, and he was just like, man, in DM, I'm just banging everybody's heads off, insta headshots everywhere, just one-bullying everybody, and then I take it into an official match and I just lose everything. And then he gave up. He's like, nope, never touching it again.
It does cost, of course, a little bit more than the AK. Same bullets, same amount of bullets, I should say. Was using it to just peer up on the potential boost, which we have seen JW working on before, earlier on. Now has the AWP instead. But it does put Doja down to a deagle, as he said, as a result, and that's going to be a bit rough. Mo's going to go down first, however. Another opening pick for JW onto Doja. Gambit unable to get anything done in this round thus far.
What? The wallbang? Sick, Adrian. Okay, that's sick. Now that's going to open it up. Adrian is unleashed. 2v3, and does he actually try to take this fight? No, he's going to back off because Hobbit's worked his way over here to Monster towards the B site. Pronax is in sewers, though, and they're just going to play Ring Around the Rosie at this point. If Hobbit gives it away that he's on that site, Pronax has now effectively cut them in half here. Adrian's going to have to rotate down with 20 seconds left. You don't have time to walk, Gambit. You have to run at this point. There's just no time. There's 15 seconds left.
Well, this is going to buy them a little bit more time, but this is where the nade could come in. Doesn't quite connect, but Schneider's on point for 1. Going to be spraying through the box. Not going to stop the bomb plant, but Adrian surely has no hope of clutching the round. Godsent again will survive with 2, but once again the bomb gets planted, and so the funds will continue forward. There's some issues though with the funds overall.
I love it,
Gambit.
man. Yep, look at this. You know who's grinning right now like a little school child?
That's disgusting.
Anders. It's like Christmas come early for him. Because he's always saying basically that there's a very, well, I think that one was pretty sexy, but there's also a way to completely deny the plant with the native. If you want to go for the wallbang, there is an angle. Nobody ever does it, and so it tilts him off the face of the plant. He's like, why? What is this? Well, no, that wasn't a good impression. I'll work on it a little bit. 7-4. And so Gambit now, after that disappointment of a round, they're just going to go for the half buy here. Tech 9s, 1 Kevlar on Adrian. He got a few more kills in that round, so he's got a little bit more money to burn. But it is still Gambit. They're not quite comfortable yet. They need more than this in this first half. 4 rounds is not good enough. They need to get up to a minimum of 6 here to start feeling pretty good about that second half. And so Godsent right now, they've got a real chance. It is the finals that is on the line. This is the last map in the second semifinal here. Last map of this best of 3 to decide who's going on to face off against the Australians Renegades.
So awesome they've made the finals. I'm so glad for them. Well, of course, one of these 2 teams jockeying for position. For the time being, Gambit are starting to congregate up around bathrooms.
You know who I'm glad for? Ricky.
Yeah, he's been playing sick this tournament.
He was a beast He's been a beast for ages. I'm just really glad to see him on Renegades, basically, giving him the chance to compete internationally. He's a monster.
He casted on Dust too, and the guy was unreal with the AWP, but that's enough about Renegades. Let's focus on the here and now. Hobbit and Schneider both trade out kills, and Gambit are making up a lot of ground, and it's going to be another bomb plant more than likely. But once again, it should be a cleanup. How many more weapons can Gambit take away from Godsent? Just 2 in total. The bomb plant in that kind of round, they only had Tech 9s and a few nades, so it's really not too shabby.
Well, this will be a feel-good round for Godsent because finally they're actually going to have somebody who's not going to have to force up in the round. And so they can start working on that bank again going into the end of this first half. 8-4, 13th round. And yeah, now Godsent can have a little bit of room for error, a margin for error going forward. Whereas Gambit, they're going to have to spend all of their money here in this round. So this is it, the Hail Mary from Gambit. Can they break Godsent here or can they keep on, well, just taking a beating? They are pretty tough. But at some point, usually after the 15th round, you got to tap out and take a break, right?
Yeah, it does feel like Gambit are just hoping that Godsent break their knuckles in their forehead or something, like eventually they hurt themselves.
This is cool. JW changing it up, not going for the mid hold, instead trying to put a little bit of pressure over here at long. Doja just a fraction of a second too late, and JW not going to hit the flick. This is where it gets tricky. Schneider is there, and they trade 2 for 2, but this does favor Gambit. Keep in mind, even numbers is always going to favor the T side because if they group up and run onto a bomb site, there's only one CT player here in Pronax, right? So between Hobbit and Zeus, they should be able to trade him away and open up that B site for business unless they run in one after another. What an atrocious take! Pronax, both kills! What are you doing, Gambit? You had the chance.
Nothing utilized in the process. Doja is going to pluck Pronax out of midair, though. Connects the headshot. He's flashing his way out onto B. He's got to get a move on. He doesn't know where either of these players are, but of course he's going to assume that the rotation is coming rapidly from connector. Spots the head of Lekro, but Lekro's too solid. Gambit lose again, and it all came down to that play on Monster.
That's a nasty spot as well because of the curve. We'll see it here. Hobbit tries to just jump into it to eliminate it, but Pronax has an advantage. He'll see you ever so slightly before you see him. And so he gets the early warning. He gets to land the shots. Beautiful hold from Pronax. Got to give it to him. He still does his job. But Gambit going in one after another like that, that was pretty much the worst way to handle it. So now 9-4, and Gambit again half by with Tech 9s and Kevlar. They just cannot seem to get anything going here.
And again, it seems to be the B site that is in their vision at this point. Be aiming onto it. Zeus and Connector is going to be flirting with disaster. Flashbang forces back the CTs.
This isn't the identical setup, but it's kind of close. And JW, he shouldn't be getting flashed here. Oh, there we go. The adjustment, perfect. JW, full flashed. There's the opening. Now it's all on Pronax, just trying to fill the air with bullets here, trying to stay alive, but it's not going to happen. They made the adjustment, Gambit. They got the close range flash. That's what I'm talking about. Beautiful.
He did a lot of damage, though, even though he died. So now Doja and Zeus are low. There's a chance that Godsent can utilize their grenades and get back onto the site. They've also, to add another variable in, got Schneider coming up round the back. Lekro's died, however. Here comes the taps from Flusher. If he can land a headshot, maybe there's a little bit of room to work with. How's he still alive? He's on 11, and it looks like Schneider's going to be trying to pick up the pieces from Monster side. Here he comes, both remaining players in water. They're going to be spotted from Schneider. He goes to the spray. He's got the B2000, but Adrian with the Tech 9 is up to the task, but there's only 6 health left on him and 20 on Doja. That could have very easily gone the way of the Swedes.
Tough. 3 kills for Doja, 2 for Adrian. Talk about a round where they're coming alive. The 2 heavy hitters here for Gambit, all eyes on them, and they deliver. And this actually kind of wrecks things for Godsent. Look, if this buy, they have to go for a force, and Gambit might actually get what they were hoping for. Could be that they end this half with a 9-6 scoreline, and then Gambit, you win that pistol, you're tied up, and you're looking great going into the second half here. So a little bit of pressure. Attempts from Flusha to trade nades, but unfortunately for him, it's just not going to pass. 50 HP left on him.
Into another scenario as well.
Wait, go down. Yeah, what's going on here with Hobbit?
Oh, he gets flashed out, but still gets the kill into Schneider, which is hiding here in the water. He switches where? How is he? What? He finally goes down by Lekro, and I think he got wall banged through the panels. Yeah, with the Deagle. What a strange passage of play that was, Sam.
Yeah, no, that's all over the place. That's just super awkward. But Hobbit, I think, was trying to go for the long con because he was sitting there with that angle, clearly seeing him for ages, and he wasn't taking the shot, so I'm thinking he was trying to bait some more people out before he actually took the fight. Mo's going to go ahead and obliterate JW, though, so that's always fun to see. Very quick reactions from Mo. That is what he is capable of. When he actually manages to hold those angles like that and gets comfortable, then he's just so fast. But it is still just Lekro versus the world now in the last round of this first half. No saving, no funny business. You got to get in there and clutch it 1v2 versus Mo and Zeus. Both of them have AKs, and Zeus has a smoke grenade as well here to set up this plan.
Oh, this first player is going to be facing Lekro. He lands the headshot. He's going to be able to take the AK as well and pick up a smoke. That was a bit needless. Lekro with the spray. He's going to drop Mo exceptionally low. Can he get this next shot? Mo on the retreat. Behind the pillar, this next bullet is going to finalize the round. And Lekro takes his head off his shoulders. Oh, it's a heartbreak. But for Godsent, it's delightful. They're going to pick up a 10th round.
I'm losing my mind. Like, this is actually one of the interesting things about Zeus, and that has always been very puzzling, is the fact that he's been the in-game leader for ages, right? And then, well, he wasn't towards the end of his time on Na'Vi. But for somebody who is the in-game leader, sometimes he does these plays that make no sense. And you're like, why did you do that, Zeus? You have two players. You have every advantage. He has to come to you. Why are you going to challenge somebody like that? Like, you're a 2v1 with an afterplant position. You can just set up a crossfire, hold your angles. You force him to come to you. The round is pretty much won. The only way you lose it is if you do something like that where you just throw it away. You give him a chance back into it. Turning it into a 1v1 with Lekro, that's not something that anybody really wants to deal with. He's got too good aim.
And surely the call came through earlier because it was Lekro that punished, I think it was Hobbit who was in the water, landed the deagle shot through the panel. So the call must have came through, last guy has a deagle. Last guy very likely has a deagle. In that case, you're moving into a position where the one deags really come into effect. So it's even more baffling the more you think about it. But all we know is it's a 10-5, and if Gambit can't pick up this pistol, well, then they're in for a long, long battle here if they want to take this third map and go through to the finals. Godsent, all the advantages in their favor.
Well, I'm curious. We have a bit of a tech pause coming out here. Actually, if we could get like a one, well, I don't need that. I can just turn around and look at the stage myself. Who's got a tech pause? Why are Gambit calling for a technical pause? Oh man, are we going full CIS here? This is like an old strat, right? Where you just call, oh, but we have a tech pause. It's TeamSpeak, I swear. And it's impossible for the admins to actually check. I mean, everybody's standing over in Godsent as well. So who actually called for the tech pause? Because I saw Adrian type it in chat, but I mean, there's a lot of people in Godsent's booth right now.
Not sure what to make of it, to be honest. There's not much being said. JW just asked if they're ready. Mo says no.
Well, I see Schneider sitting down. I mean, it looks like Godsent are ready to go here. I'm looking at Gambit. The admin is talking, waving his arms around a little bit here.
We have some info.
What do we do?
I think one of Gambit have gone to the toilet.
Well, that's not a technical pause. You kidding me? Get a bottle.
Bruh.
That's not a technical pause.
Not the first time either. We did have, I think it was one of the Dignitas players earlier on.
Oh, we had one of the, well, it was the same thing for Kingwin, except they used their tactical timeout.
That's right, yeah, it was Kingwin.
They used their tactical timeout, and then, who was it? Was it Rollin? I can't remember who.
Went to the last second, we saw him sprint across the
sprint
stage.
back over and actually get there. Yeah, they extended it by like 10 seconds for his sake, right? But, oh, this is a bit silly. Because Gambit have already used their tactical timeout here. All right, well, sometimes allowances have to be made, I suppose. I mean, coming into, I mean, it could also be that Gambit literally tilted off the face of the planet when Zeus threw away that round at the last half there. So perhaps there is that to consider as well. 10-5 at the end of the first half, however. I mean, this is a pretty solid scoreline going forward. 9-6, you can kind of work with that. 10-5, it's going to take a lot of work here for Gambit to get back into this half. Yeah. They're going to have that pistol. If they lose that pistol, this could just be, you know, Godsent having this massive lead where they can just wear them down. Well, it looks like Doja's back. So let's see, what can we do here?
They kind of have two main lifelines. One's the pistol. The next is the first rifle if they lose the pistol. If they lose both of those, then it could be all over. So they've got to try and convert one of those. CZ by Zeus. Interesting. Curious to see well he'll play with that. Very capable of destroying opposition, of course.
All right. Countdown has begun, guys. We're about to get live with the second half here. It is the last half of this best of three. We're on the third map, and we have to see if Gambit can keep their hopes alive or if Godsent are going to move on to the finals here in front of their home crowd at DreamHack Winter. Lots of noise, and this is it. Full Kevlar across the board for Godsent. And well, they're going straight into connector, it looks like right now. No, into top mid. They might just try and go for the straight running gun.
Yeah, they've got no utility. They've only got a couple decoys. So this does definitely suggest that we're going to see a Glock train in effect. Straight up through long. Oh, they're just going to apply down the pressure and throw all the chips on the table.
This is funny. It's a bit of a mirror strategy. That's exactly what Gambit tried to do. They're slowing it down a little bit more than Gambit did. Gambit really did just kind of go for the run straight out onto A site, but whew, Mo, that's a nice shot.
That's one of the issues of hanging around too long against USPs at long range. It will always triumph over the Glock. What is happening here? He's been dinked, but he's not going to go down instantly. He's done so much damage, finally goes down to Lekro. And this is where the Glocks could get up close and personal. There is a CZ, though, for Gambit. It's going to start to get utilized. Lots of damage being inflicted, but Schneider with 2. Oh, what is happening at Gambit? Mo gave you such an opportunity. Adrian now from the backside. But what a call this is by Godsent. They're going to be running towards the B side. It doesn't even matter. Lekro from point blank. Oh my goodness. I'm somewhat speechless.
I am a little bit stunned because that did feel like Godsent were giving Gambit every chance. They were true gentlemen in that round, you know. They allowed them to take the first punch in a key round here. Because this is a nightmare scenario. You don't want to do this with Glocks versus a USP.
It just doesn't make sense. You're playing to your
opponent's advantage. Exactly. And I mean, without a smoke, without a flash, anything to kind of close the gap there on long, it is tough. You really do need to just grit your teeth and run at them, because if you stop and try and take aim fights, that's what can happen. Of course, then Godsent just take the pistol. So there we go. 11-5. Lekro opening things up here versus Zeus, and Schneider catches Adrian out in connector as well. Godsent have taken over everything towards this B site, and they have connector control. So it's basically a matter of time now where they just get to walk onto this bomb site. There's a single man there, and it's Doja holding it toxic.
So one lifeline has been used and was unsuccessful. Next one will be the next rifle round for Gambit. If they can get some more kills, it's going to bolster that buy. Doja with 1 will get nothing else out of this round. And now the bomb will transition to B. Gambit maybe just looking to save him. Hobbit's on 6. Mo's not necessarily healthy either. This gives them a little bit of power to play with in round 18.
No, exactly right. Like, just save the guns at this point, guys. Mo, you need to just start running. Otherwise, you're going to go up with the bomb with only 6 HP like that. And Hobbit he's wrapped pretty far back around, trying to get over towards T-spawn to see if he can catch anybody over here. That's actually Mo, sorry, with 60 HP, so he's fine where he is, but Hobbit needed to get pretty far away. This is going to come down to the 19th round, essentially. Gambit, unfortunately, can't make that force buy work. And Godsent, they should be feeling just so supremely confident at this point. They've done it. They've won the second half pistol. They actually won both pistols as well, so that really just sets it up nicely.
Yeah, can Gambit get the Deagle or the CZ to work? Maybe, just maybe they can cut Godsent back down to size. Flush up, just with a 5.7. Does he even bother to pick up an SMG in this round? Wouldn't really be required. I mean, he's got 2 MPs to work with alongside 2 AKs. So just hold off. Also buys no nades, which is interesting, but there's a lot on the rest of his team. Down through connector and B. This is going to be fast, it's going to be furious, and it's going to be a lot of Gambit members dying. The first off being Mo. And he did have the Deagle, so that's one of the power plays dead and buried. Here comes Flusher's 5.7. He's going to meet a few adversaries, and they are up to the task. Hobbit's going to take him out with the CZ. Just a drop in the ocean, though, for Gambit.
Yeah, this is a bit ugly, actually. One at a time. Do you really want to repeat what Flusher just did? I mean, that's exactly what Hobbit wants. Look, they're even rotating in to try and do it as well. Hobbit gets a little bit too far ahead of Zeus, however, so they aren't able to peek as a pair. And Pronax watching Adrian. They do have mid control now, however, Godsent. They only have to worry about Adrian coming through. And Adrian, he's going to be able to run right into Lekro if he tried to push through the smoke, but that's not going to be the case. And Lekro has to watch his back. Adrian might hit the timing. He even gets the tag. If he had got the headshot there, that could have thrown a big wrench in things for Godsent.
Pushing onto the A side, but there is going to be Zeus wrapping himself through bathrooms. He could have to drop. Lekro goes for the bomb plant. Going to spray him down with a CZ. He's low on ammo. And Schneider will oblige, pushing him towards the grave. 13-5. This is the moment that we've been waiting for. Gambit, it's do or die. Sink or swim.
And the pressure mounts. This is it. Can Gambit just withstand? This takes an enormous amount of mental fortitude to just grind rounds one at a time to get back into a game. But then there's also the hurdle for Godsent. Can they close the game? They have every advantage here.
You've already said you got triggered by this, and so am I. 4 players pick up head armor, and this is going to make them so low on nades.
Yeah, there are kits or any other kind of utility when they're going up against AKs, but now Zeus is going to still win the fight versus Pronax this time around. But JW's there to trade versus Mo. And so we're back into a situation that's favorable for Godsent. Even players here. 13-5 for Godsent, just reminding you.
Zeus is also pretty close to death, and he's the man with the only smoke that Gambit possess. And so much time to burn. Flusher and Schneider lurking outside of Monster. At the same time, Lekro's going to be feeling his way through short. JW up round the back. Doja is going to get 1, but not a second. Adrian, meanwhile, is going to do a solid task and pick up the frag onto Lekro. But he has to get the hell out of there because he's on 1 HP. Is the dream real?
Good communication so far on Gambit, though, trying to make use of the utility that they do have. What a shot from Schneider. Good night, Zeus. Adrian's on 1 HP, but Hobbit is now rotated in. 45 seconds left, however, for Schneider. And Adrian, no fear, sees the opportunity and gets the backstab on Schneider. Gambit buy themselves a second chance here. 6 rounds for them now. And somehow, this is a sick shot from Schneider, though. Boom, clean. But Adrian he basically just saved his team that round. That was all Adrian. Very well done. 13-6, and Godsent, they're going to take their time with it. No need to try and press things when you have such a huge lead. Half buy here, not going for the force. Schneider with an AK. The hero AK, we've seen crazier things happen in the past.
Plus he has 4K to fall back on as well. He's at 20-10. So even after buying this AK, he could afford to buy again in the next round. And this gives them a big boost, a big spike in damage. He can try and lay on Gambit. But fair play to Gambit. I thought that round was lost. I thought as soon as Monster was taken, it was all but over. Adren had other ideas. Smoke and 2 flashes to work off. JW also has Kevlar. In the worst case scenario that Schneider dies. But he has been tagged a little bit in his approach.
Yeah, just a little bit of a love tap. Just letting him know. That was a bit more, but Schneider's going to go ahead and pick up the headshot. And he could even hand that AK over to JW if he wanted to. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Very well done here. Good communication on Godsent's side to take advantage of that. Both of them having Kevlar. And while it is a 13-6 scenario here, Godsent with a man advantage now. Very light on the utility, however. Pronax is the only one. He's got the smoke and the flash. He needs to stay alive. So if he dies, you lose one of those, and that's definitely not what you want to happen. Both of them are invaluable at this point. Doja with the flash, going to spot the man out. That drops the bomb as well. Flush a full blind.
That's huge for Gambit. Not just information, but bomb drop. They know with this amount of time left, it's going to be a B hit. There's no 2 ways about it. This allows them to now get into solid positions. I'm surprised that Gambit aren't rotating faster on their A side. It may not end up mattering, but Lekro comes in with a deagle frag. Zeus in the meanwhile is going to pick up a second in quick succession. And Schneider, who started the round off with the AK, is the last player to fall.
Still, they are just putting a lot of pressure on Gambit's economy right now, getting those 3 kills. So for a half buy, I'd still say that's a success.
Yep.
3 kills out of that. You didn't get the bomb plant, but you were going to have the money to full buy anyways behind it. You're just making sure that Gambit can't get comfortable, and that's solid. Mo's got his AWP still, but again, Adrian, very light. Zeus and Adrian basically don't have nades. So that's a pretty big advantage here for Godsent, who are able to just really go ham.
They have no more funds to play with either Gambit. They've put everything into this one. So yeah, that last round really did sting for Gambit. Look at this aggression. Pronax gonna get taken down. Doja just preemptively spamming through the smoke. And Pronax tanks it with his head.
What is happening? Pronax leads the way and his teammates don't follow. This is a bit iffy now. Schneider's got the angle on short, but confusing.
Especially with the M4A1S. I mean, he's going to know it's the silenced M4. He's going to have to reload, and that's where you're expecting the Avenging frag to come in, right? So it is very surprising that Godsent didn't force their way in behind that. They've got Schneider, who's in an aggressive position on short behind the sandbags. So a bit of a stall could cost Godsent big in this round and could give Gambit another step in the right direction.
This is what I'm talking about when it comes to, the ability to close games. If you start hesitating, then you're going to give Gambit a way back in. Doja is not the kind of player you want to allow to get free kills like this. 2 kills now for Doja. He survives with 4 HP, and it's a 2-man advantage now in the round for Gambit, who are still very just spread out across the map right now. 3 on B, but the rotate is going to happen here. Adrian going to work his way back up to that A site. And while Godsent, their hope, JW, that was close, but he was just a second too late. Even spots him jumping back across, and Adrian, he definitely knows that somebody's at long now. So the rotation already coming through again. Zeus is working his way back up to A. They're just so slow right now, Godsent.
Not checking the angle. Hobbit did use a lot of his bullets, though, and therefore doesn't have much left in the chamber. Mo comes through with 2, and Gambit are successful. So the opening play with Pronax charging through Monster Node and following him does end up hurting Godsent. They also put all their investment into that last round, so they'll be back into an eco.
I mean, I don't think that Pronax gets salty in that way, but that would be, you know, like a salty player. A Simple, for example, would probably just like look at his teammate and be like, well, Simple would never go in first either, though. So, I mean, well, I don't know. You know, it might be just a little bit of frustration there. It's just like, you guys were supposed to follow me. I died for nothing. Thank you for ruining my day.
Saying it with eye contact and just a small smile, you know, creeping everyone out. So Godsent, 2 Deagles, 3 P250s, no nades once again. So it's a lot of this is on Lekro and Flusher if they can land a 1-tap and maybe try and convert on that. Gambit playing in slow positions right now. Going to be fluid in their movement, going back onto long and APC. It's hard to see how Godsent can get anything done in this round, though, without any nades.
No, they got Deegs. You can always get the one-shot headshot, right? Especially if you run enough bodies through, or if you just get caught in a crossfire. Adrian and Hobbit stacking up together on mid. That was a perfect hold. Had there only been one of them there, Godsent definitely get the trade, and they get a little bit of damage done in this round. But now it's Hobbit surviving on 4 HP, Adrian on 10 HP, and Doja will find the kill on Flusha. One more round. Gambit. It's 13-9 now. And they're starting to get that solid defense, and they're developing that economy as well. 4 of them have got a full buy if they actually were to lose this round, Gambit, so it's not over yet.
They have an AWP, whereas Godsent don't. They've gone for full AKs and full nades. Aggression. Gambit going to be peering through Fountain. Oh, I like this position from Hobbit. He's not been here yet. He's going to get the drop on Pronax. Keeps himself healthy as well. Maybe just get the hell out of there. Use the smoke as cover to back away, get that free kill. That's a great opening pick for Gambit once again.
Super solid. Ultra aggro, I love it. That's going to throw Godsent off the track. And look at that. It just freezes them in place now because Godsent now have to wonder, wait, are they aggro elsewhere? Did they come through long? Are they waiting around for us in connector? This is a nightmare. Now, a nice shot there from Mo, or at least an attempt at it, but that is a pretty sick way to peek into mid. JW manages to just barely skate through. And so Gambit maintain their man advantage. They have a nade advantage as well. Well, it's about even on the nades, just a little bit ahead for Gambit, but still waiting to see how things are going to pan out as Adrian works his way back into mid. And this is the longest, latest connector peek ever. He catches Lekro in the back. Lekro never going to expect somebody to be that long in connector for CT. As soon as you lose that mid control in general, you want to rotate out. Schneider's going to catch Doja going way over aggressive. And that's going to perhaps give Godsent a way back into this round.
Yeah, that's a head-scratching moment for me. You've got the 2 opening picks. Just sit on the site. You should be gold. Now JW comes back with another kill. And now the round's back on again. Now it's possible. It's a 3-on-3. Incendiary lands on short. That's going to funnel him away. Instead, they're going to play A, and there's 2 players here for Gambit. 2 defenders laid in wait, one of which is the AWPer.
Yeah, Mo spotted the man in mid as well. Zeus will take down Flush, and that's the lurk gone. He's going to immediately start rotating up towards that A site. Schneider and JW with 5 seconds left in the round succeed in getting the bomb plant. And JW is going to be backing off the top mid, expecting perhaps somebody to come through connector, but the action is going to be on the A side here. Schneider's been hitting shots all day long so far. Can he get more? Looks for the tap, not going to get it. Hobbit takes him down, and it's going to be JW now with the AK. Spots the first man through, but that smoke is hiding the other, and he's not going to be able to do it. Hobbit with both kills in the retake, and Gambit, despite doing their best to give Godsent a chance in that round, they get the job done in the end.
Feel sorry for Schneider, though. I mean, his aim looked on the head of the player that was peeking him at Dumpster. Just wasn't getting anything for his troubles. Godsent right back in with another buy. Gambit continue to stride ahead. Their economy's good. They've got a couple players over 7K. So they're solid. They are still, of course, at a deficit, but this 3 rounds could quickly become nothing. Godsent has seemed to struggle a little bit in these rifle rounds. That's 5 on the bounce now to Gambit. They were 13-5 behind.
Let's see now, as already the nades are going down. A little bit of a block there. Mo going to back off, and Adrian as well going to follow suit. Hobbit, in fact. And Hobbit actually shows no fear. There's the flash through, and he's still going to trade 1-for-1. Hobbit doing work. That sets it up for Mo. And a man advantage now for Gambit in the round. But Hobbit, man, he just keeps delivering. Gambit have definitely got to be counting their lucky stars that they found this guy.
Unreal that he gets the kill there. And he did. Yeah, he hit the first player and wrecked Lekro through the shoulder. Mo is just the man on a mission. 3 kills in this round. Sure, it was Hobbit that opened up, but Mo held on fast.
Is this happening? 1v4 for Flusha. It's probably not going to happen for him. But Gambit, they're about to get up to 11 rounds here. That is well within comfort zone. Only 2 rounds separating them. That is definitely where Gambit can start feeling pretty comfortable with the situation. They're still not allowed to make mistakes, but now it's not as insurmountable a task. Let's see here already. Well, I mean, as far as Gambit are concerned now, they've got the bomb. They have full control of the situation. It's just Flusha who's kind of just hoping that he's going to catch somebody out. Maybe looking for Doja, trying to find the best odds here to find a pick. But Doja, he's got the angle on the Sewers. Easy kill for Doja. And just like that, it's 13-11. Gambit continue. But what a round from Mo. 3 kills from him. All of them flash with the op.
It's so impressive. Getting this first kill, and he just decides to back away. I like that because there's a chance that maybe the floodgates would open on short. And his teammate was also flashed at the same time. But it's these next 2 kills that really finalize the round. Godsent into a half bite. Just the one Molotov.
Ah, and finally, the rush. There's the flash that's trying to slow things up, but they're going straight into Sewers. Mo with that AWP is not going to be a happy capper here in a moment, especially if he misses that first shot, as they just go crazy. 2-for-1, never mind. Flusha and Schneider are going to pick up 2 kills, but they're pinned down. They're stuck, and Adrian's going to go hunting. It's all on Flusha now. 1v3, but Mo, all right, that's how you bring it back. A 2-for-1 shot. Okay, then.
If he doesn't land that 2-for-1 shot, again, Godsent are on the site. They're in such a good position, but instead, it's going to be Flusha that's left alive, not for too much longer. And now Gambit are breathing down the necks of Godsent. 1 round difference. This is the 2-for-1.
That's painful. That is so painful. For Godsent, I mean, they think that they've got that. They managed to get so far onto the site, and it just all falls away in the blink of an eye. 13-12, single round lead here for Godsent. And now Gambit fully bought all the gear, all the fun toys. And Godsent, same thing. So let's see. Can they actually make something happen here? Zeus thinking about it. Thinking about going for the peek into Sewers. And I believe, yep, Mo spotted the man over here in T-spawn. That's Flusha playing a bit of a game. There's the flash and there's the peek, and it's not going to actually work out.
Very close on landing. That AWP shot does eat a bit of damage as a result. So it gets chipped away. It pretty much ends in a stalemate. Any information gathered at this stage in the round means pretty much nothing. It's negligible at best. Pronax gets destroyed down to 42. I think he was getting spammed up through connector there.
Yep. That's unfortunate. No way for him to reply either. And so, well, the defense stands here at Gambit for the B site. Minute left, however, and they've used a lot of their nades, though. So that is a little bit of a cause for concern here for Gambit. They've been forced to use 3 of their smokes. They still have 2 left, however. So this is going to come down to timing for Doja. The longer you can hold on to that smoke on the B site, the worse it's going to get for Godsent if they do want to go towards B. Bomb and connector right now, however. And it looks like it's going to be the wrap to A. 3 players are still set up on A here for Gambit, though. So the defense is going to be pretty tough to handle here. Adrian, Mo with that op. Do you really want to give him a chance to wreck your day again? He's about to get one.
I like that he's going aggressive as well. He's getting a lot of info for his team at this point. If he can just wrap himself around the back, there's going to be 2 or 3 players, and he'll have all of their backs. He's coming around right now. Now the grenades are being dropped. It's all on Hobbit. 2 kills. Could be enough as Mo is going to clean up the rest with 2 of his own. Flusha can't get it done with 8 seconds, and Mo will take him out. Full house of kills. Mo with 3, Hobbit with 2, 13 apiece. Gambit are right back in this.
This is amazing. Between Mo and Hobbit, Godsent are just left reeling. 13-13. And there it is. I was like, just as I was thinking about, like, when is the timeout going to come here for Godsent? Pronax has had a hair trigger on that in the past, and that was also like the legendary Fnatic lineup that used to be able to take timeouts and then just completely run over their opponents after that. Just take a moment to sit and think, have a breather. Don't even really need to talk. It's not like they aren't necessarily doing things wrong. They just aren't getting the lucky breaks. They aren't getting things to go their way.
Well, they're on that corridor of uncertainty with your economy where they could go for a full buy, but JW's on $3,400. Lacro's on $3,900. It would put a couple of them in harm's way, but at 13 apiece, do they even chance a half-buy here? Or do they just throw the kitchen sink in? I feel like we are going to see some AKs and maybe a little picked up.
Let's see here. I mean, that's when you're 13-13. I mean, if you want to really risk it, you have enough actually for a reasonable buy on 3 players.
But it's JW being on 3,400 that's the concern. But I mean, you could go for a Tech 9, could go for a Deagle.
Could go for the Tech 9 and just run with that. I mean, the main thing here is that when you've struggled so hard to actually put any rounds on the board, you won the pistol, and then it's been nothing but Gambit since then.
Yeah.
You've struggled so hard. Are you willing to give them one more round in order to get the rifles, the nades, get the full buy? They've definitely cooled off. They're just not really achieving anything at all. It's pretty much remained static. Schneider continues to reign, but apart from that, no. And it's going to be the half buy. Okay, so Tech 9s, nades, Kevlar, but they're giving themselves the option. They're trying to just split it, basically, where the next round they're going to have the full buy if things don't go their way this one.
I do wonder if the last time we saw pistols, they went for that hyper-aggressive push on B. If Mo doesn't land the 2-for-1, they probably take the site. Will we see that again? It's possible. Other than that, I can't remember them playing super aggro on either of the sites, really. It's been fairly slow. Connector control has been a must, as you'd expect on Overpass. So let's see. We're about to jump back into it, ladies and gents. Godsent, they had such a huge advantage, and it's been dwindled away. Now it's Gambit that has to be said are in the driver's seat. They're cruising down the highway. Can Godsent catch back up? Let's find out.
And where are they going to take the fight here, Godsent? It might just be that B-rush again. 4 players heading over. They're ready to set up. They're going to have the nades as well. So Doja and Zeus, it's about to get fun over here. Doja has done a fantastic job of holding the line on this site so far for Gambit, so no reason to think that he won't be able to continue ruining Godsent's day. And Zeus is there to back them. Adrian's actually up there in Sniper as well, so the defense is pretty solid here for Gambit.
Fairness to Godsent, they haven't really used a lot of their grenades. Now they're starting to pull the trigger. Now they're going to be pushing the go button. But Gambit have already read this situation perfectly. 3 players, a trifecta of doom and misery has been established. They're going to be eating a lot of grenades. Doja gets one to the forehead, spamming up through the smoke, not going to land it. And here comes the push with the Tech 9s. Letgrow with the first one. This is going to open up a bit of leeway. Potential bomb plant coming into effect. Schneider takes down Zeus. Hobbit in with the M4 and Adrian as well. It's not looking too good anymore. Godsent just have Letgrow, and he's got 2 health to play with behind the site. He's going to be a dead man. And Gambit take the round.
They just can't escape from Hobbit, in fact. You know, this isn't just any Hobbit. This is like the Golem, you know, and apparently he seems to think that Godsent have his precious because he's just relentlessly hunting them down everywhere they go, whether it's the A site, the B site. This guy is just shrekking Godsent right now. 3 kills again for Hobbit in the retake, and you're thinking, okay. Godsent get onto the site, they get the bomb plant, things are looking hot. Nope, Hobbit is there. And between him and Adrian, they just wipe out Godsent. Luckily for Godsent, though, they do get that bomb plant in the end, so it's not a total disaster. They have all the money necessary in this round, but no AWP for JW. In fact, it's just AKs across the board. So there is a little bit of an edge here for Gambit in the fact that they can count on Mo with that AWP. He's been hitting shots all game long. Have to see if he can continue this show.
Godsent continue to flash up mid, just stopping that peak dead in its tracks. Well, intelligently says enough of this, backs away. And he's been doing such a good job of that. He's not been overstaying his welcome. Been having a very good read of the game. Flush is going to eat a bit of damage. Could have received a grenade. And Godsent again have been in this similar situation probably 10 times, I'd say, on the T side, where they've taken short control, they've got players in water and connector, but then they're unable to get to that next step. Hobbit being their nemesis is constantly taking them down.
I need somebody to wake up on Gambit. I mean, on Godsent right now. Schneider is definitely cooled off. He had a strong first half, but past that, nothing. Just to remind you all, yeah, exactly. That's the nuts thing here. There's a 10-5 scoreline at the end of the first half with Godsent having 10 rounds. They've picked up 3 rounds in this second half. That is it. It has been the Gambit show.
And they picked those 3 rounds up at the start, so it was 13-5. And since then, Gambit have won 9 rounds in a row.
Hey, they're not messing around. I do like that they're going to get that smoke down at the entrance to long here. Godsent to just negate Mo, try and put a little bit more pressure on him. And it is going to be that straight push coming in here for Godsent. In fact, they're looking for Hobbit, but Hobbit has found them already. Nice one-for-one trade, though. That's going to start things off. And Mo looking to see if he can find an angle into mid. He has to be careful not to overextend. Trust in the retake at this point because the bomb site, it belongs to Godsent. Mid-air shot out of Flusha, and Zeus is there as well. 9 seconds left. Do they have time? Godsent, they need to get that bomb.
Mo, you're an absolute animal. Pronax doesn't have much time left. He's got 1 second. He has to try and pull this one off, and it's not going to happen. And Mo takes him down after time just to rub salt in the wounds. What a flick shot that was on the approach.
And I'm at a loss. He tries to make the jump across to get to the site. They have the site. They have full site control. Why is Flusha trying to plant on the truck? He has 3 players watching his back on the default plant, and he tries to plant on the truck.
That hurt to watch.
That is also sick to watch, right? Because that is not an easy shot to hit, and Mo just blasts them. So 15-13, and Gambit, they are 1 round away from a spot in the grand finals versus Renegades here at DreamHack Winter. And what a level we're seeing from them. This is not easy to do, to keep your cool and to just grind rounds like this, one after another. 15, they've taken 10 rounds in a row now.
Man, that shot's like the definition of bittersweet. I didn't even notice, because of how sick the shot was, that Flusha, like, what was that plant attempt? Anyway, Godsent's still not out of this. They could feasibly take the next 2 rounds and bring us into overtime. The curse could be lifted, but Gambit, they have been putting so much sorrow and pain onto Godsent this last 20 or so minutes. It's been so one-sided. They do have an AWP in play. Schneider has it, as opposed to JW, which is quite interesting. Let's see if we can utilize this. He's waiting back at the barrels, watching for a potential monster push. In the meanwhile, Pronax has been dropped down to just 26 health.
This is supreme confidence from Hobbit. He just refuses to back down. He knows that whoever winds up in his crosshairs, he's going to mess them up. I mean, Pronax just narrowly avoids it there, but 30 seconds left, and Godsent, don't run down the clock this late. You're putting so much pressure on yourselves now, although it is working out for them. Doja, but Zeus, I mean, Doja is still alive, and Zeus goes for the peak! Doja is now the only man alive on the B side here to stop them from getting through, and Hobbit and Doja doing work right now. Flusha will trade versus Doja, but Adrian is on the side in water. Can he find the shot of the man on short? Yes, he can. He takes down Flusha. That sets it up. Adrian's still alive.
It's all Necro again with his AK. 34 health left. He's been spotted, and he gets fragged. It's going to go the way of Gambit, and you can see how much that comeback means to them. Godsent had this game in their hands.
Incredible, and that is just one of the best performances out of Gambit to relentlessly take the fight to him. Hobbit and Mo, between the 2 of them, what fantastic work. Truly an impressive performance from Hobbit in particular, but Mo as well. He had his moments. This is, well, Gambit actually pulling through. 2-1 win for Gambit. They've got a spot in the grand finals now versus Renegades. And Renegades, after watching what Hobbit is capable of doing, and Mo as well, they got to be like, whew. It's all good, though. They've got Ricky. I would love to see that. A battle between Mo and Ricky. That's going to be a sick fight coming up next.
Man, I actually can't wait to watch that match right now. I just want it to start right this second, but there were some mistakes by Gambit. There were some very questionable decisions as well. But again, it went back to Mo, and it went back to this crazy assault rifle play from Hobbit. Like, how did he even pull it off? The amount of plays he made in bathroom where it looked like he was just going to die instantly. Unbelievable.
That's confidence for you. That's the difference right now. He's young blood. He hasn't. He's basically coming up here, and he just feels like he's got the aim. Apparently, Hobbit on the last roster that he was on before joining up here with Gambit, he was the monster killer, basically just the star fragger of that team. I'm not sure if he's actually expected to have that role on Gambit, but he's certainly showing that he's capable of going toe-to-toe with some of the best aimers out there. I mean, he just completely shut down Godsent in this comeback. What a comeback. That was beautiful.
13-5 to 16-13. How do you even fathom that if you're Godsent right now? That has got to be so heartbreaking.
Well, you know what? We're going to go ahead and find out what it feels like to win a comeback like that. Smix is ready with the interview on the stage. Let's hear what they have to say.
Congratulations, Adrian. You and your team are now headed to the grand finals here at DreamHack Open.
Thank you. I feel amazing. I feel still shaking, so sorry.
So obviously there's so much to talk about with this series. Let's start off with Train, because despite the score, I felt that the game itself felt very close in a lot of rounds.
On Train, everything went not so good for us because everything went not that how we expected. So we knew that they're playing good on Train, and we decided to play our game, but it didn't work. And we played to change our game style, play like individually, and it doesn't work as well. So we just lost it. Everyone see it.
Then with Overpass, it started off with a 10-5 half, and then your team went on to win so many rounds in a row.
Yeah, it was. It's amazing. I'm proud of my team that we made that so good. I didn't expect that score. So thanks for my team for these emotions.
And I know your team must have been working so hard to get to this point. So how much more satisfying is it to make it to the grand finals, knowing that that's a product of your hard effort?
We're gonna be satisfied if you win this. So we're going to first place.
Okay, well, if you want to win, you need to beat Renegades. Now, Renegades beat you earlier on at this tournament. So are you confident that you can get revenge against them?
We'll see. We definitely don't pick cash now.
All right, well, congratulations again, Adrian. And with that, the grand finals match is set. It will be Renegades versus Gambit.
Thank you very much, Sue. In the words of LL Cool J, it applies to Gambit oh so much here. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. And Adrian said, knock you out. That's awesome. Really big stuff. Of course, Moses and YNK joining me for that one. They have been here for years, and now they've got themselves in the grand final. Who knew all it would take was a Hobbit? This time not Morda, but Jönköping, but all the same, big success.
Yeah, carried him up the mountain for sure. I mean,
Good
that was
grief.
yeah.
What a game.
Yeah, what a coming out performance, I guess you'd say, from Hobbit of like very, very impressive what he was able to do consistently against them as well, shutting them down. And then obviously with Mo, can't forget him, especially in that third map of Overpass.
Wonderful stuff, and I mean, I think we have to almost start. I know it seems bad to not do it in chronological order, but we just kind of have to start with Overpass and that comeback. That looked like Godsent's game to lose. 13 rounds. They're just 3 away from the grand finals in front of a home crowd, but again, a Swedish team on home soil cannot make the grand finals.
I think it shows a bit of lack of maybe practice on the map. I think it was a good CT side from Gambit as well, especially towards that A-bomb side, the toilets area. It was mostly Mo and Hobbit who were playing around there, and they had like really good timings mid-round, but sometimes when Godsent was setting up for an execute with their smokes, Hobbit had that one round where he actually flanked them, got I think 2 kills. So the problem there is initially Godsent was spreading around the map, playing a bit more loose, and that didn't work out for them. And they lost a number of rounds before they, figured that they should try and take control of toilets, control of long, and gone into a set execute towards the A bomb side. But once they adjusted, Gambit was already one step ahead. So that's why you see teams like, teams that are very proficient on Overpass on T side, like Virtus Pro, like Dignitas recently, NIP, they have those executes. They have a way of cleanly taking control of toilets, and they're going into that, carpet bombing the A bomb side with a line of smokes and planting the bomb and playing the afterplan. That's something that we didn't see from Godsent almost at all. And when they did go for it, they don't smoke, or maybe that smoke was missed between the planned box and Optimus. There was no smoke there, and that was also the round towards the very end where Flasha with the bomb goes for a jump.
I mean, that's a massive mistake from Flush you don't see too often, but also you have to say that was an incredible shot from Mo. I mean, that shot does not get hit by too many oppers out there.
I think it has. I mean, Flush is not a player that makes those types of mistakes, I think, ever. So it really prompts me to think that there was some bad comms in place. Like maybe someone was communicating that there was a quick flank, so he can't go for the default plant, or maybe he thought there was a smoke there and that it was safe for him to jump over. But yeah, it was very weird just watching from our perspective.
We highlighted them as being a team riddled with firepower, and perhaps on a pound-for-pound basis, Gambit would struggle. But when you bring up the stats, it tells an all too different story. Not only did they manage to find 11 rounds on CT side Overpass in that third map, but an all-round team effort. No one really dragging behind. In fact, the most fabled player on the roster at the bottom of the scoreboard, but also given the in-game leadership role is Zeus. But blood on the top, it is that young blood. It's such an awesome kind of juxtaposition. You have the old guard Zeus, who's been around since the dawn of time, and then you've got Hobbit, who's just been snapped up and is rocking the scoreboards against some of the world's best.
You have to say as well, Mo's looked
Yes.
great this event within this roster, and perhaps that's Zeus coming in to help him because he did have all that hype around him when he first kind of entered the scene and kind of started, we started seeing him more and more, and it's slowly faded down a little bit. Like, we still know he has the skills, but it's not as like, you know, no one's really talking about him as this up-and-coming player. But this has been a great event, obviously a great semifinal from him, and definitely a great third map. I mean, you just see this event has shown between Ricky, between Mo, that's going to be a sick op battle in the finals, but the impact oppers can have, the kind of control and the kind of fear they can put into their opponents, that extends into map control. When those oppers are on, it's very, very hard to gain that kind of slow, methodical map control. You've always got to be very fearful of where that op is located.
And I mean, the thing is, as well, is we have to highlight that this was more of a, not easy to predict series by any means, but the fact that the maps went that way in terms of, you know, when it's Cobble, it looks great for Gambit. 16-5 victory for them, a map that Zeus previously wasn't a massive, Gambit weren't previously a massive fan of. And then you go to Train and Godsent do seem to be climbing up that ladder.
I think it has to be said, I personally think that Gambit was very, very unfortunate on that Train map, because they had a number of rounds on the B bomb sites where Godsent gets the retake, they get the defuse with less than a second left. Then there was that 4v2 round towards the end on the A bomb site. If only a couple of those rounds go Gambit's way, that will also have an impact on the economy. You might see a much closer game, because once you have such a, you know, dominating first half from Godsent, you feel that it's only a matter of time before they close out the game. But Gambit's Cobble has been pretty impressive so far, and to me it's very interesting because, you know, Zeus gets removed from Na'Vi obviously before the coaching change. He gets to Gambit, and for Na'Vi, the old Na'Vi, Cobble was one of their best maps with Train because of their T sides. The new Na'Vi now doesn't really play Cobble, it's in their veto process, and we see how Gambit is solid on the map, playing at both the T and CT side.
Yeah, I mean, Zeus could be having an impact there. For me, I mean, just speaking of Godsent as well, I was actually, I mean, it is kind of cool to see. We were questioning, like, with all the roster changes back and forth, we've seen them perform poorly. I thought they had some very, very cool ideas, mostly on CT sides with some kinds of setups, thinking Train, that Pronax, that like mid-round setup that they had over towards Ivy. That was really impressive to me. It was making a timing call to smoke deep into alley and have a teammate pop flash Pronax for a peek, clear the close angle. So it was some good stuff.
Now, I've just been crunching numbers, and I'm kind of frowning. I'm scared to say it because it doesn't sound right. But over the course of 3 maps, Godsent won 70 rounds. That's how that played out. That sounds ridiculous, but they got 0 T rounds on Cobblestone because it was the second half and they lost. Went into Train, they got to 12 rounds on CT, and so they only played and won 4 rounds on their T side of Train, and then they got 3 on Overpass.
And
they got they won 70 rounds on a full best of 3.
Out of that, the gun rounds was probably
Down to like 3
or 2, perhaps.
That's awkward.
Which is very,
thanks a lot, Alex. You just
which
really
is
made this
detrimental.
uncomfortable.
I mean, for the team, when you look at, you look at Pronax, who's being regarded as one of the best in-game leaders, especially when it comes to mid-round calling, and this team is not able to win gun rounds on the T side at all.
It struck me that they like, especially during Cobble, I noticed it a little bit on some of the other maps. They seem like they're very much stuck in like that old Fnatic play style, where I mean, it's a lot of pressure, like map wide, a lot of like individual battles that can turn into, when you apply pressure at 2 different locations at the same time, it kind of turns into this weird teamwork essence. But they just don't seem to have that same flair, the same kind of players who can win those duels consistently. So a lot of times, I mean, you even saw it when they tried to make the adjustment on their T side of Overpass and they went slow and methodical. No one was really applying pressure or getting aggressive anywhere until like 30 seconds left. They were just like, let's just not get punished and just hope these executes work out. So that's something that maybe they'll have to look at adjusting for the major qualifier.
Yeah, some flaws to Godsent's game, there's no doubt about it. I mean, if in contrast, there's 18 T rounds acquired by Gambit over the course of the series. There's definitely a big difference there. Good to see Gambit on good form coming into that grand final. I'm actually pretty excited to see how this one does play out. 2 teams who are most definitely not the most regular candidates for grand finals, but that is still happening. And there have been some fantastic performances, and it does get us very excited for the end of 2016 and the year of 2017 coming into Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Now, talking of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, it is just one of the many games games that you can go ahead and check out on the Score eSports app. You know, it's on your palm of your hand and you should go ahead and grab it. If you are a little confused as to how it does work, fortunately we do have a walkthrough video that will help you understand exactly how to check it out. And before we do take a look at that, a reminder of what's about to happen. The Grand Finals is coming up, but we need to give Gambit a break. They did just play another best of 3, not the first of them here for the DreamHack ZOWIE Open. And so we will take 45 minutes. We're going to be coming in at 6 o'clock sharp. It's not even 45 minutes now, a little less than that. 35 minutes. We'll be back here with that pre-show, the prelude to the Grand Final. Another best of 3 and the final one here for the DreamHack Winter in Jönköping. You don't want to miss it, guys. When we return, we're going to have a quick look at that walkthrough video now. And when we come back in 35, we'll be